Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, How to Ace Your Next Business Analysis Job Interview. I'm your host, Liva Randrabason, and on behalf of IIBA, thank you for joining us today. Today's webinar is a public event. It is designed to deliver practical resources for you as you continue to grow your skill set and deliver value within your organization. When you join IIBA, you become a member of an international association dedicated to developing and promoting the business analysis profession. Your IIBA membership gives you access to the vibrant BA community and resources to support your development and career growth. IIBA is a non-profit professional association serving the growing field of business analysis. And our goal is to unite a community of professionals to create better business outcomes. As the global thought leader and voice of the business analysis community, IIBA works to maintain global standards for the ongoing development of the practice and certifications. And today's webinar is brought to you by Adaptive US. Adaptive US provides CBAP, CCBA, ECBA, Agile analysis, cybersecurity analysis, and business data analytics online trainings, question banks, study guides, simulators, flashcards, audiobooks, and digital learning packs. We would like to thank Adaptive US for supporting IIBA and the business analysis community. Today's presenter is Ellen Mishra. Ellen Mishra is the current president and principal trainer at Adaptive US and has over 25 years of professional experience in agile software development, requirements analysis, business analysis and governance, risk and compliance management. Ellen has authored over 20 publications on business analysis and has conducted over 200 workshops in business analysis, requirements management, agile software project management, and Six Sigma. Welcome, Ellen.
Thank you, Liva. Thank you, Terry. Would you let me present my screen now?
Yes, I just hand it over to you.
Thank you. Is my desktop visible to you?
It is.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Liva. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Team IIBA. It's a great pleasure to be back on IIBA webinar series. Possibly this is my 10th webinar with IIBA. I have been conducting these webinars almost for the last 4 years. It has been a great experience working with IIBA, and I'm very proud and glad of what we have achieved together as a team. And we were just looking at yesterday's performance. We touched 400 CBAPs. That's a great number to achieve. We also touched 775 IIBA certified professionals with Adaptive. Just to tell you a little bit about 2 other interesting facts about me. I'm the only person today who holds all 6 IIBA certifications. So that's a great motivator for me. And I'm possibly the only trainer who has helped more than 700 people to get IIBA certified. So let's begin today's session. This has been a very, very close to heart subject for me, and the importance of this subject goes up as we go through the current pandemic situation. Opportunities are not very many coming up. Certain sectors have been very badly affected, like aviation, hospitality. These sectors have been pretty badly affected. So people who are looking for opportunities and who have lost jobs without any fault of their own, they must get ready, get prepared to grab the next opportunity that comes on their way. So let me thank you and congratulate you for joining the webinar today. And I'm pretty sure those of you who are joining the webinar today would be in a much, much better position to secure your future compared to those who decided not to join the webinar. So you will get many insights which are very practical, which are, some of them have been practiced by me personally, and I have vetted them with many experts. So trust me, these will work for you. And as we speak, we lost a great friend, Bob Prentice, very recently. He was an amazing trainer, amazing BA as such. So I would like to maintain a 1-minute silence in his loving memory. So I am going to be quiet for next 1 minute. Thank you. Let me close the timer now. I think it just keeps ringing in my phone. Let me turn it off. I don't know what happened. No worries. Tiku, can you take this out? Okay, let's begin. So here is a quick poll for all of you, and there are only 4 simple questions. Terry, can you please bring up those 4 questions for everybody's benefit? Maybe for 30 seconds, we can run the poll. Should not be very hard. So do I see the poll on my screen as well? No. Okay, that's okay. Done, Terry? Can we start and look at the poll results?
Yeah, so we have 71 people that have voted.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's
lost
not letting,
you.
it's not letting me. There we go.
Okay. So can we view the poll results? That will be interesting for me.
Absolutely. So we have 11% unable to answer BA concept, 42% unable to showcase your talent, 26% lack of domain/tools knowledge, and 21% being nervous.
Wow. Okay. So I think it's almost pretty much in line with what I always felt. So I think it's a good thing that we got some idea, and I'm going to deal with each aspect of this and see how we can prepare ourselves to do better in our next interview. So let's look at something interesting. Okay, there's an interesting announcement for all of you, which I would make it at the end of the webinar. So please stay on till there, and what kind of support you can receive from Adaptive and IIBA towards your next BA interview. We are going to discuss about that. So all said and done, many of us may not like interviews. It may be quite a stressful experience to go to an interview, but there is no escape from the interview. About 90–95% of world's job selection happens because somebody took an interview of somebody. So we have to be prepared to face the interview and do well in the interview. So now let's flip a little bit to the side of the organization. So we, of course, want to be successful in an interview. All of us are looking for an opportunity. But what is it that the organizations are looking for? Because if we start from there, like what my customer, in a sense, you can treat the organization as a customer, and what is the customer looking from me? So there are a few things which I believe is very important. One, the organization is of course looking for a skilled professional. That means you can perform business analysis work very well. Two, they're looking for people who are with right temperament. That means you can work in a team, you're supportive of your colleagues. Third thing they're looking for is the person is adaptable. Remember, the world is changing very fast. The skills that I learned in college, I learned in my initial career days, are hardly applicable today. The skills have become very different. The expectations have become very different. So if somebody is not adaptable, somebody is not willing to learn, that's a very hard situation for the organization. Then of course, the person should be willing to contribute to the organizational growth, because without contributing to the organizational growth, the organization doesn't see value. And of course, at the end, the organization expects the new employee to be proactive in doing things. So these are the things that the organizations are looking at. And how do I fare on those parameters? So this journey starts from there. So this is a 5-step process which I believe has worked very well for me, and it will work for you as well. So start with a process which is to research the domain that you are interested in. And especially today, I will tell a lot of BAs who are part of, say, aviation domain or hospitality domain. Those domains are going to be little hard domains for next 1 year or so. Because of COVID situation, things may not improve dramatically in those domains. So obviously, we need to look at domains which are close enough to our domain. So if I am in hospitality, maybe retail is something which I can aspire for, because retail domain and hospitality domain may have a lot of commonality. So please go ahead and find domains which you think would be suitable for you. Although many of us BAs, we believe domain is not a huge consideration, all said and done, organizations still look for people with certain domain experience. And it is not necessary that if you don't have domain experience work-wise, you cannot be proficient or skilled in that domain. There are techniques which I will showcase a little later. Then the company that I'm applying to, I must do a research on that company. How is the company doing? What does the company should be doing? How is their presence on various technical skills area or social media, mobility? All that we can do a lot of research today, because internet provides tremendous information about every organization. Then I must prepare in advance for the interview. Going underprepared for an interview is absolutely no excuse, because you will not get many opportunities, and those opportunities that you get, and if you lose them, you are going to get pretty much demotivated in 3 to 6 months time. Maybe you will have patience for 3 months, 4 months, but after 4, 5 months, the patience will run out. Then there's a technique which we would discuss today, is to how to own the interview process. And if we learn to own the interview process, we are likely to be very, very successful. Okay. And obviously, during the interview, you must be in a position to demonstrate your business analysis capabilities, because that's what the organization will look from you. So let's take every step and go a step-by-step approach. So first, how do we go about researching the domain? So obviously, every organization operates in a particular domain, and there are trends which are affecting the particular domain. Say, for example, healthcare. Healthcare is definitely being affected by COVID. How healthcare will transform itself? Education, again, education is seeing a tremendous change. As I see my own children kind of going through online training, which we would have never thought possible at such young age. Even children at the age of 5, 6, they are also getting ready to go through tutorials and sessions in an online manner. So obviously, the domains are being affected due to external situation, and we need to understand how business analysis can help every company in that domain to do better. So if there is a challenge available to us, there must be ways to overcome the challenge. And you would have seen a lot of retail restaurants and all, they have started segregating the places, they're putting partitions, the gyms are putting partitions. These are the kind of things they're doing which will help them get over the current situation. Okay. And there is one wonderful website which I would tell you, and which I have referred enough number of times in my life, which is apqc.org. It's an amazing company. And if you go to apqc.org, let me just go there for a minute and come back from there. So if I go to apqc.org, and I trust IIBA and APQC should form a good partnership, because I believe both are great organizations and both can support each other very well. So let the audience view come. And if you go here, there is something called Process Classification Framework, PCF. So go to this link called PCF. And in that, you will see there are PCFs which are for industry specific. So there are about, I believe, 22 or 25 industry specific process classification framework, starting with aerospace, airlines, automotive, banking, broadcasting, plenty of them actually. If you go down, consumer products, consumer electronics, petroleum, healthcare, kind of you name it, it will be there. So if you are targeting a particular domain, this could be a great starting point. There are, of course, other resources on internet which you can also rely and get some understanding about the domain or industry that you are trying to join in. And when you go for an interview, even if you do not have absolute mastery over a domain, when the interviewer sees that you have made an effort to learn a new domain and you are reasonably proficient at it, it's going to tilt the balance in your favor. And always go in a mindset to improve, to tell the interviewer that I may not know the subject very well today, but in 2 to 3 months time, I would be proficient in that domain. These are the domains which I had no knowledge of, but in last 3 months, I have been able to gain some knowledge about the domains, including their vocabulary, processes that they run. Those aspects are very, very important. And trust me, I have seen plenty of domains in my work career. I have worked in high tech, I have worked in professional services, I have worked in manufacturing. There are a whole lot of commonalities between them. So although from the outside, it might look like there is nothing in common, but it's not true. There is a whole lot of commonality which can be exploited. So please keep that in mind and give that confidence to the interviewer that even though I'm 30, 35, 40% today, in 2 to 3 months time, I'll be able to reach 70% understanding of the domain. And that's what I believe would be pretty much good enough to work in any new domain. But you have to demonstrate your learnability and willingness to learn. Then, of course, it's important to research the organization because the interviewer is also trying to assess, are you really keen to work with this organization? What drives you to work with a particular organization? Is their value system? Is that what they do? There must be some factors which you are looking at while you are applying for a job. Of course, everybody wants a sustenance and a living, and that will provide, any job will provide that. But beyond the basic sustenance, what is it that makes you interested in the organization? And this was very, very difficult job to do maybe 15 years back. Today, it's a lot easier to understand how a particular organization is doing, what are their main objectives, main products, main services, how present are they on social media, have they created solutions for mobility, how good are they at analytics. So you can actually start kind of getting a good information about the organization and their foray into the newer technologies. And as business analysts, we are supposed to know the possibilities. It's very important for us to know what is possible today, given the technology strength that has come in. And we as business analysts should enable the organizations to perform better by using these technologies. So please look at these new generation technologies and how these technologies can help the specific organization. Then the third point is to prepare in advance. This is again very, very important because, as I said before, if you are not prepared, you're not going to win the game. And the game doesn't come very often today. And fortunately for many of our students, they have done very well in some of the interviews, and I'm very glad that they prepared themselves in advance. Just to tell you, show you a couple of very nice evidences that came in very recently. So just give me a second. I will just show you some of the evidences that we received from some of our students. And look at this particular evidence. Okay, this student was a past CBAP student from us. She was in aviation sector, but she lost her job due to COVID-19. But she got another job with a bank, and what she says is her CBAP certification really helped her. But look at the way she prepared herself way before COVID-19 happened. Some people wake up at the very late moment, and of course, that's not a great situation to be in. There's another girl, student, who also lost her opportunity. She enrolled in a program, and now she is again hired by another organization with a 40% salary increase. So these things are happening because these people are preparing themselves much better way. And unfortunately, many professionals do not upskill themselves. They do not keep themselves abreast of the new things that's happening in the marketplace. And sometimes due to technological change or an external factor, their jobs become redundant. So please don't get into that complacency mode. So this is something I would request all of you to do, and do an honest introspection. There is no need to show it to anyone, but you do a self-assessment. How skilled am I on a scale of 1 to 5? Do I have a right temperament to work? Am I a great team player? Am I adaptable? Am I willing to learn? Do I have a desire to contribute? Am I proactive? So please make a good list. I have just made a very simple list to start with, and don't stop with this list. There can be a longer list which you believe will be helpful. In fact, I am in the process of compiling a fairly long list of about 100 points so that any professional can actually go through an honest introspection. No need to show it to anyone, not required. But you yourself judge yourself and figure out, where do I lack? If I'm not skilled, what am I doing to getting myself upskilled? So please use a small checklist for yourself. And once, if you guys are interested, please keep me in loop. My email ID I will give you at the end. And the moment I have that new checklist prepared, I'll be happy to share with you. Then the next point comes is, how do I prepare for the interview? So these are few things I would advise you to do. One, keep your achievements, and preferably quantitative achievements, recorded. This is what I achieved for my client, for my organization. If you received any rewards and appreciations, please keep them recorded. Summarize the learnings from your past projects. What did you learn from these projects? Keep answers ready to commonly asked questions. I'm going to show a few of them, but you could actually get many questions today. We do have an interview question book which has 1,000 questions. That's a great resource to kind of really ask you many questions and be ready with the answers. Then if you are looking for a job in a slightly different role, slightly different domain, then think about the skills that you can transfer from the previous knowledge to the new setup. Another point, maintaining a strong LinkedIn profile. Today, lots of interviewers look at your LinkedIn profile to observe how knowledgeable you are, what kind of contributions you do. These are important points for us to remember. And then if you have some target companies in mind, please participate in their posts, comment on the things that they're posting. If they're running a competition, please go ahead and join them. And that's a great way for you to get noticed by people who may be willing to hire business analysts. Again, another important point, have certain BA tools on your system. Many of the BA tools have moved online. So as long as you have a internet connectivity and a license, you will be able to use these products. So I would say, please have access to Jira, Balsamiq, Bizazi BPM, some of the common BA tools that you can demonstrate during the interview and be proficient in that as well. Then from your past project data, if you can call out 2 or 3 documents, sanitize them so that you don't maintain any confidential information, but it shows your ability to create right kind of documentation going forward. Then I would say, get yourself certified. This always helps. People may tell anything about certification. I have had so many good friends, colleagues, commenting certifications are just a paper. You are there, it is there to hang on your wall. All kinds of things they may say, but let that not demotivate you. At the end of the day, the recruiter who is looking at hiring a BA would probably shortlist candidates who are certified and will not shortlist candidates who are not certified. And certification process, the training journey will make you a little better BA. No questions asked. I speak to so many business analysts and they have been great professionals like PhD holders, people with 20 years experience, 15 years experience. They tell that, Ellen, we got an overall idea about business analysis because we went through CBAP or CCBA or some other certification. If you don't go through any certification, generally your knowledge is very ad hoc and it is unstructured. So once you go through a proper structured training, it clarifies your thoughts, saying that this is how things happen, this is how good companies do their business analysis work. And BA-BOK is an amazing standard for you to refer for business analysis. Then these are some very, very simple questions which I have put up. And as I said, these are some questions which I believe many interviewers ask, like tell me something about yourself, why do you want to join us, why are you quitting your current job if you're in a current job, do you have questions for us? This is typically a question which many interviewers ask towards the end of the interview. Why should we hire you? Then what are your biggest strengths, some weaknesses, where do you see yourself in 5 years, what kind of key challenges you faced as a BA and how did you handle that, can you describe business analysis process, what are the BA tools you are comfortable with. So these are very, very common questions that you may encounter. And as I told you before, we actually have a big book of interview questions. Maybe I should call it a giant book of interview questions, because that has 1,000 interview questions. It took us probably about 2 months to prepare it, but I believe we are glad that we did it. Then, even if you are a member of IIBA, if you're a member of IIBA, you do get access to BA-BOK. Even if you're not a member, still there is a great standard published by IIBA, which is called Global Standard for Business Analysis. I have given you the link, and this standard is free to read. And from us, we have some nice, interesting books. One, we call it as Handbook of Business. So especially if you are a new BA struggling to understand business, this is a good book. This is not business analysis, just plain simple business. Then we also have a nice book called Practical Requirements Engineering, which could be a pretty nice companion to BA-BOK. And it also comes with an worked out example for you. Then, as I have been saying, 1,000 BA interview questions is another resource that you can use. Then we come to the next very important step in the process, which is to own the interview process. And this could be make or break for you. So if we understand, almost all interviews happen in 2 different ways. So what are they? The one is the interviewer is driving the interview. So you are being kicked around like a football, you can treat it that way, or you drive the interview. Sometimes I have faced an interview which was a very stressful interview, but I think the institute wanted to run the interview in that way to see how a candidate behaves or performs under stressful situation. So that's an intent, because it's not that they want to harm you or they want to criticize you or belittle you, but they're simply trying to figure out, do you have the ability to handle stress? And of course, if you are looking for a job which is a little bit stressful, not having the ability to handle stress will be disastrous. But the second one is when you drive the interview. And this is the way that you should learn that you should be in a position to drive the interview, not the interviewer. But how do you do that? So obviously, the second way is in our interest, and this is what we would like to learn. Okay, so the one where you are in driving seat. But unfortunately, many people actually allow the interviewer to take control of the interview process, and that's what results in a failure of the interview process or the selection process. So this is what has been my experience personally, and let me tell you how it is. Okay. This I have been kind of repeating it quite a few times, but this is very, very important for us to keep in mind. We need to own the interview process. When we own the interview process, we would get a better result. If we don't own the interview process, we are leaving it to chance. So start the discussion in such interesting way. Like, would you like to know how I helped a client to achieve XYZ? So obviously, as a business analyst, you have achieved something in your career. You helped an organization to get something done. And I personally have been part of many projects which were very, very fundamental to the company's operation, survival. So including, there was a case when we kind of reduced the losses from 50% to 10% in just 2 years. The company was making 50% losses year on year, and we could reduce that to 10% in just 2 years. That's a great achievement for any analyst. Then you could also use this kind of a statement saying, can I show you some of my past project outputs? So essentially, you are diverting the interview process to your areas of strength. Another one could be, can I make a flow chart for one of your existing processes? So when you offer such kind of things to the interviewer, it's very unlikely that the interviewer will say no. Because the interviewer also gets an opportunity to test your practical knowledge, which is very, very important for the interviewer. Because at the end of the day, they are also looking for a skilled professional to join them. So please use the opportunity, rather I would say, grab the opportunity to showcase your skills. And of course, as I said before, please keep the tools ready, keep some model work done, and whenever you get an opportunity, please demonstrate your proficiency in BA tools and BA process as well. So I believe maybe you can keep a simple mind map with you, but keep it mentally, not physically. And if somebody says, how do a business analysis activity is done, you can demonstrate it in a calm and composed manner, seeing how things start, how things end, and the BA process map is actually a great process map to follow. Then towards the end of the interview, always ask for your improvement areas, because the interviewer is likely to be a senior gentleman or lady. They would have seen a lot of candidates. They would be doing an assessment about you as well. So please ask for the area that you can improve upon. So even if you don't get selected, you still get value for yourself. And this, of course, shows your attitude to learn and improve. And always thank the interviewers for their time, because it's a good manner to kind of part in a positive way. This is something, let's remember, a proactive BA is 10 times more likely to succeed than a reactive one. So you are increasing your probability success significantly when you are going prepared. And coming back to what we can support, we do a resume writing webinar, and this is part of a product called Inner Circle, which you can take a look. We also do tools training webinar on Jira, Bizazi, BPM, prototyping tools, so you can take benefit of them. We do monthly BA concepts webinars, which are basically targeted towards certification. And we do regular trainings for ECBA, CCBA, CBAP, CBDA, and we can do CCA and AEC training if there is an interest or there are a group of participants who come forward for such a training. And even if we don't do a training for a particular standard, we still have lots of resources which you can use. And as part of our Inner Circle product, you will be able to get access to these tools like Jira, Balsamiq, MS Visio, Bizazi BPM. These are tools that you can get access to. And Bizazi BPM is actually free to download. So I would request all of you to download the tool, learn it. It's a pretty neat tool to learn business process modeling. And this is an offer for all of you, those who are still here. If you register for our Inner Circle product today, even if you pay for 1 month, you will get 2 months access. So within that 2 months period, I believe you can get most of the tools trainings done. We are also launching some more trainings on behavioral skills very soon, like how to face an interview, how to be more confident. So those are the courses also which you can join. And this is a code which you need to provide in the email when you request for an extra month access. And let me wish you best of luck for your next BA interview. So Terry and Liva, this is what I wanted to kind of communicate to the students and prospects. I'm open to questions.
Thank you so much, Ellen. This was very practical, and I'm sure the audience benefited from your experience. The first question I have here from the audience is, as a generalist, is it possible to consider positions in several different domains without spending an inordinate amount of time researching domains and companies?
It depends on the kind of role that you're looking for, but I'm not saying that you do research in the sense spend months together. Absolutely not. I would say typically spend about 5 days at max. But trust me, if you know a little bit about the domain, a little bit about the organization, your probability of succeeding is much higher. So if you're not really looking for jobs, then it's a different story. But if you are looking for jobs and you are not in a job right now, I would suggest you to invest that time. But I wouldn't ask you to do it for many domains. So look at your strengths and your experience, and based on that, maybe look at 2 or 3 domains where you would like to find new opportunities. And that would require you about 15 days of preparation, which I believe many of us would have in our hand.
Excellent. Do you feel that role play interviews are now being a more important element of interview process?
True. That's a very important element. Role plays are helpful. So if you know somebody who is in a hiring position, but they're not likely to hire you right now, maybe they don't have a need, but if you can find a person of that type and the person is willing to help you, and there may be many mentors who may be willing to help. And for our student community, we are actually going to do that. We are reaching out to our past senior students, and we are requesting them to mentor 1 or 2 BAs in the interview process and all that. But you need to find a person who can do an interview for you and give you a feedback on how you're performing, which are your areas of weakness. Please go ahead and find a couple of mentors who can take an interview for you, even if they are not hiring you right now.
Thank you. You talked about, in your mentally, sharing kind of how you do a business process and, and also wanting to take the initiative rather than wait for the interviewer to ask the question on how to do how to create a process. In some cases, especially this person is asking about, as a federal government subcontractor, where I'm restricted from a lot of information to how do you quantify my contributions to the client?
You would have. I think that's something you have to do a little bit of a deep thinking. I cannot give you an answer right now. But whatever projects you did, of course, there are confidential information which you cannot tell. But information such as improving a certain process by a certain percentage, reducing the cycle time, getting some of the systems up and going, and what kind of benefits the client received. Some of these things I believe will not be extremely confidential data and should be shareable. And I think check with your contract document saying how much you can tell and what you can't tell. Of course, don't tell the client name, the system name, those things you can avoid, but try to generalize to some extent what can be presented without violating the confidentiality clauses.
Thank you, Ellen. The next question is around cover letter. How important is a cover letter when applying for jobs?
I wouldn't say very important today because the email itself that you write could be presented like a cover letter. So don't waste your time in writing very elaborate cover letters, and also keep your resume pretty simple and maybe max 2 to 3 pages. Because if you send a 10 or 12 page resume, it's most likely going to be get dumped. See, look at the recruiter's perspective. So the recruiter finds that he or she is not able to ascertain what you are good at. Will you be a good fit in a couple of pages? They're not going to look forward. Okay, so please make sure that you write your resume in such a way that you are highlighting the skills and capabilities that you have, which will fulfill the organization's need. Do a traceability matrix. It's good to do a traceability matrix between what the organization is looking for and how do you map. It's not very hard to do. A simple Excel will do, but please do that exercise.
And I think the next question is very similar. How should one tailor the resume to a domain you have no experience in, but it is a domain you're willing to educate yourself and you'd like to get an opportunity for an interview?
Two things. One, somebody says, I'm interested in a particular domain. So my next question will be, what have you done to demonstrate your interest? Somebody can say, I'm very interested in investment banking. Just to take an example. Investment banking is a fabulous field, very highly paid. What have I done to be a business analyst in investment banking? Did I complete any basic certification in that domain? And there could be many certifications available which do not require you to be working in that domain. Like we have ECBA from IIBA, and to appear for ECBA, you don't need any experience. Similarly, the respective domain may have a similar certificate, which I believe must be existing. So please do some kind of a basic reading, basic certification, which gives the interviewer a confidence that you are truly interested in working in that domain.
A lot of questions around domains. So continuing on that, would you be able to share some insights as to the 3 most demanding domains for business analysis right currently or in the next 3 years?
Depends. Some domains are very mathematical, and that's what I find very hard to understand. Like in my personal experience, investment banking is a very difficult domain because it requires a lot of mathematical knowledge. And the other domain that I worked was in physics, which is very surprising that the domain was into optics, and it was very scientific as well. But other than a couple of domains, I believe most other domains are pretty much understandable. Be it airlines, be it retail, be it banking, things you can understand. I don't think it's very hard to understand other domains, but a couple of domains can be very hard, especially scientific, mathematical, very, very mathematical oriented domains. So unless you have a strong background in mathematics or science, those domains may be a little hard to crack.
Great. A few more questions around transitioning into a BA role or starting into a BA role. So the first one is, as an aspiring business analyst interested in transitioning into the BA field, what strategy would you recommend to land my first role?
The first job is always the hard one. So one of the easiest option I'll give you is to get yourself ECBA certified, because that shows your commitment to the BA profession. The ECBA certification process will teach you BA process, learn the BA tools. I think that's it, and develop your strength, be more confident. So I believe our Inner Circle product is an amazing product. So we have this ECBA certification training coupled with Inner Circle would be a very, very apt course for anybody who is looking to kind of step into the BA career.
And so on the other end of the spectrum, how do I prepare for an interview if I'm looking for a job, BA job as career change after a long gap of 10 years, for example?
Well, that was a job gap or something like that? Like you didn't work
Correct.
for 10 years?
Yes.
Okay. That's not a very uncommon situation. Many people do take breaks after, say, raising a child or having a family, could be anything. So you have to pick up the threads, go through a proper structured training. I think that helps. Go through a certification, work as an intern wherever possible, work as a volunteer for some time. So start getting into the groove, because corporations will obviously look for people who are almost ready to work. Okay, they are not going to hire somebody who will take 6 months to 1 year to prove himself to be a good person to work with. So please do your basic preparation, take up any volunteering activity as a BA, internship, those kind of opportunities also don't let go. So start doing things. If you stop and waiting for an opportunity to land into your lap, it's very unlikely it'll happen.
Good advice. A couple of questions around the Inner Circle. Could you please share more information about the monthly fee, and is certification required for the Inner Circle?
No. Inner Circle is mainly our skill building program. It's very, very cost effectively priced for you. In fact, for 2 months, it's $50. So per month, it's going to be $25, at least for the first 2 months. So it's very much doable. But I would always recommend to do the certification if you're looking for an opportunity, because certifications do open the door. Trust me, it's much easier to get your resume shortlisted if you are certified against if you are not certified.
And it's actually a good follow-on questions about certification. I am looking to transition from business analyst to data analyst. Is the CBDA going to make this transition easier?
True. CBDA is actually a great program, which kind of gives you a lot of tools and insights into the data analysis domain. And I have heard great reviews. Like recently, let me show you. It's a bit of a confidential mail, but I can still show you, because one of our student, Itoma, he lost his job because his company ran into some trouble, which is very interesting, because he was in a financial services domain, and the financial services domain has been doing quite well. But the company where he worked, it ran into some trouble because of some mischief by some top guy in the company. But look at this way. Thanks for the short discussion we had 2 days ago. I would like to inform you that I signed a contract with a startup firm here in Munich, as first senior business analyst in the business intelligence team. So look at the way this gentleman is a CBAP, but he had spent time in learning about data analysis. And I will be responsible for product and data analysis, insight discovery and recommendation, dashboard development, and anything data. So the world of BA and DA is kind of coming very close to each other, which is an interesting thing. And I think, trust me, it's not that hard. Maybe some people may feel that DA is very difficult. It isn't that difficult. Maybe the upper end spectrum of DA, which is what we hear, data science, AI, ML, those are a little hard, but data analysis is something I believe most BAs can understand and practice and do very well. I have absolutely no doubt. And just to tell you, we do have a CBDA live training coming up in the month of October. And that's taken by one of my colleagues, Tom Tomasovic, a fantastic trainer from MIT. So if you are interested in CBDA, please do join in.
Excellent. The question, there's a question around when you talked about owning and driving the interview. Yes. There's also another perspective where the interviewer could be seeing this as potentially a pushy or aggressive approach in the questioning process, or an interaction in the questioning process. What are your thoughts around that? Is timing an important factor?
True. Well, don't be overly pussy, overriding the interviewer's questions. But I think if you are making a request saying that I would like to demonstrate a tool, or I would like to showcase some of my past project data, I do not think that is being pussy. That's being, in fact, you are being confident, you're being assertive, which are very essential skills to success. I wouldn't really mind if I'm taking an interview and an interviewer tells me, can I showcase my past project data? I would be happy, because if the person is truthful, and which I can check out, because I can pick something from internally, whatever you are demonstrating, and ask you to do then and there. And if you have falsified anything, it will get caught very soon. But if you can prove that you really did that project and you actually achieved those results, it's a very good positive sign for the hiring manager. So don't think that you're being overly pussy or something. Just keep your language and posture to be in a calm position. If you're calm and strong, it's all okay.
Thank you.
But don't be kind of don't raise your voice and don't do those kind of things. Just be calm and confident.
Great. We do have a couple of more minutes. So I wanted to answer the few questions. The question was around the the resources, and you talked about the 1,000 BA job interview questions.
Oh yes, of course. If you go to our website, let me just go there, and there's a link called publications. These are also available as part of Inner Circle. Very cost effective if you are part of Inner Circle. Even if you are not part of Inner Circle, it's still not very expensive. I think it's below $10. So it's $4 with Inner Circle. Without Inner Circle, I think it may be $9-10 or something like that, if I remember well. Oh, it's $9. So it's sub $10 for you to buy.
Thank you for Thank you for sharing that. There's also one question about the I believe it was was it the process
modeling tool?
Yes.
Okay. You can download the process modeling tool from this website. Let me write it down in front of you. It's bizazi.com. It's a wonderful business modeling, process modeling tool. I would request and recommend all of you to download this tool and play around with this tool. It's free.
Excellent. We do have a few questions that are unanswered. So what we'll do is we'll take those and send them to you, Ellen, and we'll get back to each attendees who had a question. The recording will be available on the IIBA.org website archive section within 10 business days. And again, thank you so much, Ellen. We really appreciate it. It was very helpful and very insightful. And everyone, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful rest of the day or evening, wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Liva. Thank you, Terry. And bye, everyone.